first-time home buyers are really looking at is, it's their first transaction and it is the largest, biggest transaction of their life. They would not have brought anything worth 50, 60 lakh rupees.
First-time home buyers, which are millennials and Gen Z, are very, very bullish on investment in real estate as a category.
Trusting a person with your initial earnings is a very big factor, which I feel is very relevant for a first-time home buyer. I think the most important point here would be how trustworthy the developer is and how confident the buyer is in investing in that particular developer.
A young home buyer has forgotten that his dad had to, line up outside DDA to buy. He wants a very good quality, definitely, right? Because he's well traveled, he goes, to Southeast Asia and he sees buildings over there. He wants something that is very good quality.
The lockdown got over and people actually understood the importance of home. They are the budget buyer. Like 344 square feet carpet area, 1 BHK was really budget buying, which we have sold numerous apartments in Bombay. The response came so good that we repeated the design at many projects.
Namaskar, I'm Prasoon Kumar and you're watching this new episode of The Property Show on MBTV, world's largest real estate online channel. Today, we are going to discuss a very, very interesting topic. A topic about first-time home buyers. People who are looking at investing in real estate for the first time, and we'll keep the discussion in the realm of residential real estate investments. Millennials, those who were born after 1981, and Gen Z, those who were born after 1997. These form the two largest consumer cohorts today for any category of consumption, and as well in real estate. Millennials, especially those who are in their late 30s, 40s, are the ones who have either purchased their first home or are investing in their first home, and also are heavy investors in terms of looking at larger ticket sizes and looking at amenities in a very, very different way. While on the other hand, Gen Z, which is likely to enter the market anytime now, has different set of expectations altogether. Millennials adapted to technology, they adopted technology during their lifetime. So the way they look at technology and its impact on their decision making is very different from the way a Gen Z looks at it, which was born in technology. A lot of these things have very profound impact on how products are seen, how products are perceived, and how sale and purchase decisions are made. So we'll be discussing on a lot of these things, what is happening in the real estate market as far as first-time home buyers are concerned, what kind of products are coming, catering to their needs, what are some of the trends and futuristic technologies and design concepts and solutions and amenities which are going to come, which will take care of their needs going forward from here on. And to discuss a lot of these things, we have a stellar set of panel today. In studio, I have Mr. Amit Khanna, who has joined us. He's a renowned architect and interior designer based out of Delhi NCR. Joining me online are Mr. Siddharth Pansari, who is Managing Director of the Primark Group based out of Kolkata, a leading developer. We have Mr. Jayesh Rathod, who is co-founder and director at the Guardian Real Estate Advisory. He's a realtor and they have offices in Mumbai, Pune and Dubai. And we have Mr. Keshav Agarwal, who's director of Srijan Realty, and they are developers based out of Kolkata and Chennai, and they also have projects in Asansol. So with this stellar panel, we start our discussion today around first-time home buyers. But as always, we'll start with some interesting statistics and data points to build a context of our discussion. Magic Bricks recently released its Housing Sentiment Index. And as per that report, first-time home buyers, which are millennials and Gen Z, are very, very bullish on investment in real estate as a category. Well, what are some of the things that they're looking at? One, a lot of them said they are wanting to invest in their hometowns. So that's an interesting sort of requirement or aspiration over there. They are also looking at investing in properties which are affordable, especially Gen Z and late millennials who are in their early 30s, they want affordable solutions to come by. 54% of them, of Gen Z, are willing to wait to decide on which particular product they want to invest in. It means that their appetite for investing in under construction properties is far, far higher than what we otherwise see in other consumer segments where ready to move in properties are the flavor of the season. And that's an interesting pointer there. Majority of them are looking at, especially the young audiences, are looking at 1 BHK solutions as well, the so-called studio apartment solutions or smaller unit sizes as well. And they expect decent amount of ROI to come. So primarily the reason for investment and looking at real estate is that they're looking at real estate as an asset class, and they want this asset class to be part of their portfolio. Gen Z especially, and late millennials as well, are very, very investment savvy. They are born in a world where investments, be it in stock markets, be it in bitcoins, be it in other asset classes, has been the norm of the day, and they have started experimenting with various kinds of investing very early in their life. Interesting to see that they're looking at real estate as one of the asset classes that they definitely want to invest in, and that's very good news for the industry. Otherwise, general perception is that youngsters typically do not want to invest in real estate and have a different lifestyle requirement. But the report says otherwise. So discuss a lot of these things. We will today touch upon a lot of pointers related to these, and we have developers, realtors, as well as architects and interior designers in this panel. So let me start with our developers on the panel. Siddharth, let me start with you. When it comes to first-time home buyers, what are some specific sets of requirements that you have noticed as a developer, which is very, very different from, say, a slightly different segment?
So firstly, thanks for having me here. So I think as far as the information that, first-time home buyers are really looking at is, it's their first transaction, and it is the largest, biggest transaction of their life. They would not have brought anything worth 50, 60 lakh rupees. Right. Also, compared to when you go in a shopping mall, you buy something, whether it's a diamond necklace, it's more for you. But here, it's more for your family. It's more for your kids who are born or kids who might get born. Yeah. Also, the investment decision horizon for this is more than, a couple of years. You're thinking 5, 10 years, 15 years down the line, at least 4, 5 years, mostly for under construction before you get, your possession, yeah. And then 10, 15 years to live. And if you actually look like home is the only product where a customer pays the money now, starts paying interest on that also. Yeah. And he gets, a delivery after 4, 5 years. You walk into a shopping mall and buy a shirt. You'll actually try 5 shirts before you buy end up buying one. Yeah. So given this, there is a lot of fear. There is also a bit of uncertainty what will happen, not happen. So I think one is definitely looking for a very clear-cut transparency in what it is going to cost him. What are the hidden charges? What are not hidden charges? So on and so forth. So the financial clarity that... Also, what is he getting at? What are the facilities? What are the services? What are the amenities? Possession and risk related to possession. Given the pedigree of the developer, will it be done in 3 months later? Will it be 6 months? What are his past projects and so? Also, will he get what he is being promised? Okay. And one big key factor for people end up buying homes versus non-buying homes is how does the home loan eligibility work out? So that I think is a very big, because most of these people are young. They just started. They're 5, 7 years, 8 years, 10 years into working. Yes. They have multiple other decisions to take. How they qualify, how their credit score works. But I think it's very, very largely, transparency about pricing, commitment of timelines, and the surety that a customer has, whether he'll get it on that time. And third, really get what is being shown that he will get.
Sure. Keshav, how have you seen this entire first-time home buying thing and dealing with relatively younger set of audiences over there?
First of all, I would like to thank you for having me on this panel today. It's a lovely discussion, as Siddharth has mentioned earlier. To add to what Siddharth said, I think when it comes to a first-time home buyer, the first thing which a buyer would see is that the developer which he's purchasing the property from, what is the developer's track record, how trustworthy the developer is, because see, for a first time buyer, that amount, whichever amount it may be 50 to 80 lakhs or a crore for that matter, that's his, that's a part of his first earning. So trusting a person with your initial earnings is a very big factor, which I feel is very relevant for a first time home buyer. I think the most important point here would be how trustworthy the developer is and how confident the buyer is in investing in that particular developer.
Okay. All right. Both of you bring this perspective about transparency and trust, and that's very, very important. We will touch upon these. But tell me, Amit, this is a young generation, right? These are we are talking about people who are 30 and lesser than slightly 30, for example, and say late 30s. They use a lot of technology. They are exposed to a whole lot of concepts which are there, which are global concepts. They see everything and they are aware about everything. How does it change really the thinking when it comes to looking at a project and thinking of designing a project which actually suits the requirements of this generation?
So what would happen historically is that these people have seen their parents struggle to even identify a property. So right, they would rely on DDA, or they would rely on some urban local body to build something, and then they would line up in order to pay for it, right? That was followed by an era where real estate went through a sort of a churn, where there was some lack of trust at some point because things didn't work out, and that was linked to the sort of drop in the market over time. Currently, there is robustness in a mature market, right? So I would say real estate is now a mature market in India. A young home buyer has forgotten that his dad had to line up outside DDA to buy. He wants a very good quality, definitely, right? Because he's well traveled, he goes to Southeast Asia and he sees buildings over there. He wants something that is very good quality. Secondly, because they are out a lot of the time, they're nuclear families, they're not joint families, there is a huge emphasis on security. So a lot of these apps, like there is an app called MyGate, and there are these smaller apps which allow you to ensure security for your thing. And I think they have a idea in their mind that they want to live in secure environments, so the condominium has to provide all other facilities as well. So there needs to be a pool and a clubhouse and a recreational area where they can throw a birthday party for their kids. So I think in that sense their requirements are way different. And obviously they want it to be future ready, so they want automation in the apartment. You walk in and certain things are on sensors, which is also very good for the environment, right? So if there's a switch in a staircase, it's not on all the time.
Correct.
And so I think that emphasis on technology is there because it can afford to be there, right? It's a choice being made by the consumer who is now spoiled for choice in many a way, right? Rather than being restricted to one point of sale.
Okay. Jayesh, as a realtor, how many such prospective consumers you are, or potential buyers you are dealing with, and what specific requirements they are coming to you with?
So usually in Bombay, because we mostly operate, our 80% business happens in Bombay. Our observation says that last year, if we have sold say around 10,000 apartments, around 40 to 45% is exactly the same number which you narrated, in the question. Is there around, mixture of late millennials and that early Gen Z type. Now, post-COVID, couple of things which was observed by us and which was looked by them, like after the COVID got, the lockdown got over and people actually understood the importance of home, they are the budget buyer. Like 344 square feet carpet area, 1 BHK was really budget buying, which we have sold numerous apartments in Bombay. The response came so good that, we repeated the design at many projects. Even 490 square feet, 2 BHK, which is unbelievable, for Amit as an architect, के 490 में घर कैसे बनाया बॉम्बे में? But यही बिका because budget खरीद रहे थे. जैसे time गया, and today we understood that this set of millennials and Gen Zs are looking actually for the apartment which has got a little bit extra space. They don't mind spending 500 square feet ka 1 BHK or 800 square feet 2 BHK, so that apart from 2 bedroom, 2 washroom, living, dining and kitchen, they have an extra space or a room which they can utilize to work from home. Because this culture got introduced in anybody. I mean, in your circles, everyone's circle, there must be someone which will say, okay, आज मैंने घर से काम करना है, and they really opt for it. So they do give importance to this extra space when they evaluate the layout. They also give very, very importance to, like recently, couple of projects where when we design and we give common amenities, we give conference rooms, we give business centers, we give workstations instead of other fancy facilities. They are asking for it. You don't. I mean, there is a one project in Andheri where it's more like a media hub, and those Gen Zs and millennials are the millennials. We said, okay, we are giving you a studio for you to make your reels and record. They appreciated. Now the feature is very small. The cost is not major. But when you give all this facility, they do appreciate it. It's not that they don't appreciate it.
Okay, Siddharth, coming back to you, tell me, you touched upon a point of how it is important to build trust with this particular consumer segment, because they are entering the market for the first time. They're looking at the category and products for the first time. They do not have, because they are young, they want to be very careful about what they want to invest. At the same point of time, they're very, very savvy about a lot of these things because they live in an era of technology, right? What do developers do, or what can developers really do to build that trust?
So, like my other panelists mentioned, this generation does not have the legacy of the past, where the parents struggled to get a home, where projects were delayed, and they didn't get houses also. That part is over, and I thank RERA for a lot of this part, because now everything is up and transparent at RERA.
Yeah.
So one, I think the confidence building by the government has already happened. That we are here as a watchdog, and if anything wrong happens, you can come back to us, and everything is certified, everything is uploaded, everything is there. So that is definitely one thing. I think what also helps is your credibility and performance over the years, which is something you can't build overnight. Okay. Third is social media management. You can't say you have the best customer, you're customer friendly, and you have thousands complaints, over social media all over. So right now, I think the first thing which people do is just check you out online in all of whatever forums that they can, And even otherwise, even if they don't go to social media, they'll post one message. And suppose somebody is working at IBM today, he'll just post one message in his close group of employees. I'm thinking of buying a home here. Which are the three? And so I think your reputation management, your credibility management is very, very important when it comes to performing. And performing is on time. Performing is on delivery. Performing is delivering what you said you will deliver. Your interactions, your friendliness. Today, people know more than my company or our projects than even we would do. The world that's because of the social media and other platforms become much smaller. That the degrees of separation, it's just reducing every time. So I think the only mantra is you commit what you can perform, and you keep performing what you've committed.
That's very interesting. From your point of view, Keshav, then when you see your peer, your age group coming to invest in real estate for the first time, what are the things that you think you would want to do to really make them feel comfortable and make them kind of cross the fence?
Right. So that's a very good question. Thank you very much. The younger generation of the first-time home buyers are really very careful and very careful about what they are investing in. I mean, what product will they eventually get? So, for example, this generation, particularly in my circle, my group, I think everyone is very aware of how their consumption harms the environment or affects the environment.
Okay.
So, which is why I feel that if we talk about net zero, if we talk about green building features, the carbon footprint of the product which is being consumed, I think that is something which is very, very important for first-time home buyers and people in my generation. And I think the developers should actually focus on this because this is going to be the next big delta for developers. How environment friendly is their project or their company is? What is their policy in terms of managing their carbon footprint, and how sustainable can we make this work?
Okay, Amit, let me get both these questions to you, right? Keshav is talking about how sustainability solutions are becoming a norm and more of a hygiene than exception in development, or especially for this generation it would be. Jayesh also mentioned about how some very, very unique features or very, very unique kind of amenities gets added in a project to cater to this generation, whether it's a work from home kind of a solution, enabling work from home kind of a solution, or a boardroom kind of a thing, built inside the premises itself, and so on and so forth for meetings. How many of these things you are actually seeing in the design concepts becoming a reality now?
So I'll give you a couple of illustrations, right? From the developer's point of view, the product must move. From the customer's point of view, they want to have the sense of responsibility that they're doing something, but they want it taken care for them, right? So they want to help the environment, but because they can't go out and help the environment by, going and saving
Doing
the
things
polar bears,
themselves,
they don't do them things themselves. They would rather outsource that responsibility to, let's say, the developer in this case.
Okay.
Or when you book an airline ticket, it says, do you want to save, you want to offset the carbon, etc. The point is that it is in the developer's net interest over time to basically differentiate themselves from the other players in the market by offering a higher quality product. And what is the notion of higher quality in this time? For that person, it is basically, okay, this is a sustainable building, this is an environmentally friendly building, it's got solar panels, it's got these X amount of features that the rainwater is harvested, or the green cover is more, or the windows are insulated, or there is some sensor in the common areas. And I think these help the customer feel that they are doing their bit for the environment. And so that is one part of it, right? That is on the demand side. On the supply side, any developer who's working today has to account for the fact that IGBC is looking over their shoulder, DPCC in the case of Delhi is looking over their shoulder. So making an environmentally friendly building is not a choice, it's a business decision. Right?
And how much of technology do you see is coming in designing and design concepts?
Basically, no developer will risk something new on their project unless they have proof of concept.
Okay.
And if a company that sells elevators, let's say they've sold a million elevators in India, and they come to a developer and say, look, this is our new product, and it's it saves 20% electricity, and you can invest in that product. So if a developer has a product in front of him that he can choose, architect can recommend it. But if it comes from a small time organization and says, we can do your roof in straw, or we can use rice husk instead of cement, then that will not fly. You need concepts and products which have been proven,
tested,
right? And only then will somebody put, because a developer is investing, let's say, hundreds of crores into a project, he's not going to risk it by going to some small time innovator. So like you said, once a product has been developed, tested, and has been proven to be more environmentally efficient, and it comes to market, adoption is not a problem.
So there are nuances to that. Siddharth, tell me, I want to touch upon a little bit on the affordability part as well, right? The Housing Sentiment Index also suggests that the first-time home buyers are looking for investments in units which are, say, less than a crore. Their sweet spot is 50 to 75 lakhs and so on and so forth, right? But last 2-3 years, especially post-pandemic, the segment of real estate that has really seen a lot of development and a lot of growth has been the premium and the luxury end of the real estate segment, right? Maybe to the also impacting a lot of development in the affordable stroke mid segment any which way. A whole lot of new projects were in the premium and luxury segment. Now here seems to be a latent demand for a certain kind of product solution. But the supply is probably not catering to it the way it should be. Where is that gap, and how do you see as a developer? Is this a potential problem that you see, or is there an opportunity that you're seeing here where developers can come in and bridge the gap?
Yeah, it's a very valid question, and I would like to break it into 3 parts. So first is on the affordability side. So see, understand one thing: the maximum demand today is coming, where employment is being created. That is in the cities of India. Whether it's the top 20 cities or the top 40, that's a subject of debate. But that's where the maximum demand, the IT, where the millennials are shifting from small towns to big towns.
Yes.
Now, unfortunately, the biggest factor controlling the price of real estate is land. Land is not getting cheaper.
Yeah.
Gold has gone up from 60,000 to 1 lakh in the matter of, I think, 6 months or a year. The fact is that global commodities, whether it is gold, whether it is steel, whether it's cement, whether it's RMC, it's not becoming cheaper. It's just going up. So where there is a big demand, the unfortunate part is land and the resources are very expensive. So I think people and consumers are understanding this also.
Okay. Jayesh, on this point itself, dealing with consumers, dealing with first-time home buyers, this entire gap between the demand and supply that one is seeing now, where the demand is for a certain price band, and as Siddharth said, there are a lot of operational and cost-related issues which may prevent a lot of price rationalization to happen, and a lot of product to come in that price band. How do you see this, and do you really see this as a problem on the ground?
Our experience is that over a period of last couple of years, the demand for luxury segment has gone up. And like say when I say luxury, means something which was selling 600 square feet, 2 BHK 3-4 years back. Now consumer is only asking 750 to 800 kind of area, and that also developer is willing to make, because this buyer is not the budget buyer. This buyer is willing to pay you more, subject to what extra is getting on the table by the developer at product front, at pricing front, at opportunity, payment schedule, so many other parameters which otherwise they look into. But the primary product is a luxury square feet which is buying, and has appreciated. People want bigger flats, irrespective of the, especially the city limit I'm talking about. When I say outskirt, affordable segment is really doing so well that out of say 2.5 crore population, if 30 to 35% is affordable segment looking really good home, even in the outskirt, thanks to the infrastructure which Maharashtra government is extending to connect the city with all the area, even the buyer sitting in say South Bombay but looking for a middle class, lower income group, looking for 25 lakh, is ready to buy at Bhiwandi, which is another 1.5 hour from here. Why so? Because infrastructure is getting connected. So, answering it to your question, City of Mumbai has seen the gap previously, but not longer now. There is equal participations by every segment of the buyer coming forward and asking for the luxury flats in Mumbai to even affordable segment. To an extent, when the affordable segment did so well, then we have increased the manpower in that segment. So answering it to your questions, people are there, but yes, as the developer friend has rightly indicated, the price of the land and the construction cost. I mean, one of the report in MCHI, was floating a few weeks back, says 40% of the cost goes to the government by various taxes. You buy the land, you pay GST. You buy the premium for municipality for FAR, you pay the premium. You buy the sand, cement, or any material nail also, you have to pay the GST. So this is the input cost. Buyer is buying any apartment, you have to pay stamp duty, you have to pay registration, you have to pay GST, three big cost which is otherwise to pay.
Amit, looking at say 3 years from now, so if you have to do crystal ball glazing and say this is one concept that will come to India very soon in 3 to 5 years, what could that be from an architecture and design point of view?
I think, I would agree with Jayesh here that I think we are still designing homes to be too big,
Okay.
right? And we're still designing them for joint family structures
Okay.
that no longer exist. I think we need to recognize the reality that now a lot of people actually live alone. Sometimes they have a spouse, mostly they have a pet, right? And the fact that the moment they have kids, and they're normally at an age when they need to go take care of aging parents. So either aging parents move back with them or they move back to aging parents. So the people who actually live in a city are the people who are basically performing all the functions of the economy, right? Who are basically young workers between the age of 25 and 45. These people have no need for large luxurious homes. And to answer, a question that you asked earlier, the high end of the market where flats are selling for hundreds of crores, that's not really a real estate play, right? That's just a portfolio allocation, right? So it's not really that somebody is looking to
end use,
right? Because that person is not a first time buyer, right? So I think that trend of having a smaller and smaller and smaller apartment, which is very high quality, right? But like in a 2 foot by 2 foot cabinet, you have a washer, you have a dryer, you have a pull out ironing stand, everything sort of
a lot of modular solutions.
modular solutions and well-designed solutions, right? Right now we are very amorphous, right?
Okay.
When we design a kitchen, we make a 8x6 kitchen,
Mm.
which has got one counter here, one counter here, but we don't design the counter efficiently,
Mm.
right? We don't take the cabinets all the way to the roof. There's so many things that you can do. And I think if you look at the mature markets around the world, you'll see that smaller apartments in the center of the city are the most desirable
Mm.
at the end of the day.
Right. Okay. Yes. Siddharth, what will be your take on 3 to 5 years? What's gonna happen which will be different for first-time home buyers?
So I don't think anything will be drastically different, but I
Hmm.
only feel ki, technology is changing very, very fast, and a lot of uh, needs and aspirations will keep changing. Like suddenly, I feel today compared to 5 years back, fitness has taken a different leap altogether. So, where people, instead of one pool, they want two pools, they want different things, they want a larger gym, they're talking pickleball, they're talking paddle tennis. Paddle tennis has become a rage all over the country, something which didn't even exist 2 years back. Half of us might not have even played that game. So I think a lot of is happening there. A lot of amenities might start becoming redundant also, like a perhaps used to do AV rooms, home theaters, because Netflix is changing the game. A lot of the also you have to now account for services like Swiggy, Zomato, and so on and so forth. So the world is changing very fast. Some 10%, 10% of it will keep changing very fast. Which I really agree with what Amit was saying. Ki the need of smaller homes and more efficient homes. What you're giving in 900 square feet, can you put it together in 700 square feet by efficient design? The builder also wins, the customer also wins. And you create more apartments out of that. So efficiency will definitely be the key. 90% of the product is going to be brick and mortar. It's going to stay, and there will be 10% changes which will keep catching up very, very fast.
Okay. All right. Keshav, your take?
So I think we've covered most of it. As earlier mentioned, that it will not drastically change, but yes, new concepts coming in, new things happening around the world. As mentioned, Swiggy, Zomato, Blinkit, Zepto, these are very common things in our lives now. So you would need more lifts in the buildings. Facilities like AV rooms will become redundant. Sports, as mentioned, will is increasing. The demand for that is increasing, and people want bigger spaces because there are more people who are opting for it. So yeah, I think these are the things.
Yeah. One of the things that I do see is rooftops increasingly being used as a recreational space, including jogging tracks and green spaces and everything else. So there's utilization of every single piece of space that is going to happen. Jayesh, very quickly in the end, from your point of view, what are some of the trends that you see?
No, the trend at the product front, I think the team has discussed, but the one change which I have observed in lately, especially millennials and Gen Z, they don't like any surprise, they don't like any hidden cost and hidden agenda. They love proactive communication. They like to know the bifurcation of agreement value, taxes, society charges, what is the landed cost to me, and how I'm going to pay it. Any cancel, they are very particular about all this matters too. The entire process, right from inquiry till the possession, they like to know today when they come to make an inquiry. And we at Guardians ensures that we usually give absolute transparent and straight communications to them, just to avoid any ambiguity. Because if they found any surprise communication thereafter, I mean, for them it's a big fiasco of the whole deal. And the experience which they, I mean, and the way they refer, as rightly said by team member, is always a negative remarks. So there's a process change we have observed, and we do take care of that.
This is it, viewers. We discussed quite diverse topics and for new home buyers. If you're a new home buyer, here are the things that you should expect. One is expect a whole lot of technology driven solutions coming into play. Two, expect a lot of efficient solutions coming into play, where far more is bundled within a smaller space, so to speak, which gives you a better lifestyle, which gives you better comfort, and takes care of all your requirements. Do look at with markets maturing, do look at different solutions, product solutions for different consumer cohorts. For you as a young buyer, there'll be very different kind of product solutions that will be available as against a luxury buyer, as against a silver citizen, and so on and so forth. So real estate market is maturing very fast, and with all these developments, there are a lot of interesting solutions coming your way. This is it for this week's property show. We'll come back with such interesting topics again to you. Till then, keep watching MBTV and don't forget to like, share, and comment.